So in this video, I will be looking into the check constraints in SQL. This video is a continuation of the previous videos where we are talking about the constraints in SQL. If you are just joining in this video, I will advise you pause and visit the previous videos on the different type of constraint that we have in SQL. So in this particular video, I'm talking about the check constraint. So the check constraint is a clause in SQL that we use to check the type of data that is being input into the table to see if it actually meet up with the condition that we set it to meet up. Look for example, now if you are trying to create an application that we only want to accept people that are above 18 years old to be able to register. So of course, when you're registering in the page, right, it's going to ask you to fill up date of birth or ask you to enter your age. So whatever information you input in that field that is asking for your age, so in the back end, the SQL will check if the age actually meet up with what we want. If it meets up, it will accept the registration. If it doesn't meet up, it will, throw back an error message that you are not eligible to register. So to do that, how do we do that? We currently have a student table here. Since we already have a student table here, I would just advise that we just alter the table and add it. But of course, if we are creating a table, what you just need to do is after your other field, you just add, like, we're trying to add age, so age type will be integer, and then we'll add the check there. And in the parameter, we want to look something like check if age is less than, or let's say greater than or equal to 18, and age is less than 150. So because we know that it is not possible for any human being to be 150 years old, right? So there's no point putting anything that is above 150 there. Or we can even put something like 130, but just to be fair, let's just put 150 there. So we want to check if any age that is entering the application is not less than 18 and it's not more than 150. But because we already have the table, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to alter the table. So I'll copy what I have here, then I will go and alter the table. And I'm doing this because the table already exists. If I'm creating the table from scratch, that's what I would have done. But because it already exists, I'll go ahead and alter the table. So alter table student, add, then I'll paste this age. So it's me trying to put an additional column in an existing table, right? So alter student table, add age int, and check if whatever age is input is greater than or equal to 18 and is less than 150. So let's run this. I'll run this. It says command completed successfully. So if I go ahead and select student, so we can see now we have the age column there, but because the previous details we input there did not have any age column, that's why it's automatically null. So let's insert into student. Let's insert here. Let's insert Dwayne Fola. So registering for course 101, right? Then the age, for example, let's put age 13. Remember that the age cannot be less than 18, right? So let's see. It shouldn't accept this. So you can see there are fewer columns in the insert statement than the value specified in the value clause, right? That is because the check constraint that we put in the SQL code has actually rejected the value that the user is inputting into the application, right? So we need to ensure that whatever value the user is inputting in the application, it has to be, the age part has to be above 18. So if I go back there and kind of put something like 21 there, it will, but before we try 21, let me try something like 152. That's above 150. 152, right? Let's see that. That should actually reject as well. So we still get the same error. So meaning that the code is actually working. So this is the perfect code. So let's put something like 23, which is between the range that we want, and execute. So there we go. Oh, what happened here is that we need to actually put in the parameter, the age there. We didn't define the parameter, so the age parameter should be there. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this. But before we run that, let's try the other things we did there. 13. Okay, it rejected it. 152. Uh, let's see. Okay, it rejected it. Then now if we put something like 24, which is in between the range, it should insert. And there we go, the code is working. So one row affected. So that's a perfect example of how the check constraints work in SQL. So you can put in any conditions in the check range. I'm just using age in this one. So if we go now into the select student, and you can see we have 24 there. So now if you are less than 18, you cannot register here. If you are more than 150 years old, you cannot register. So that's the check constraint. We can use it in any column. Doesn't necessarily have to be age. Whatever column you want to put the restrictions on. So it might be, if you are working for a bank, it might be the account balance. If the account balance is less than 1,000, you cannot withdraw. Or if it's, or a certain account balance cannot be more than a specific amount in your account, so it will trigger a specific investigation and all that. So there's a lot you can do with it. It's a kind of constraint as well. So I hope this explanation makes sense. If you like it, please kindly share. Um, like, put a comment if you have a question, and you can also subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, I wouldn't hold you against that. But let's just look out for my next videos. I'll be dishing out more videos as well. Thank you.